Hey fight fans, and welcome to another MMA fighting video. Jon Jones, the greatest light heavyweight MMA fighter of all time, is back, and he just demolished the #1 heavyweight contender in the world, claiming the UFC heavyweight belt. The French kickboxer Cyril Gane was no match for the superior style of Jones, and it looks like he'll dominate the heavyweight division as he did in light heavyweight. It wasn't only about beating the #1 contender, but how he did it. He made it look easy, like Gane had never fought before. The scary thing is that Jones predicted it and did exactly as he said. We'll look at Jon's flawless performance and discuss what really happened in that fight. Before the octagon closed. After 3 years of preparation for a transition to heavyweight, we were all expecting to see the strongest, most complete version of Jones. However, the American gangster from Oregon, Cyril Gane, tweeted something that aroused concern in Jon's fans, indicating that their favorite fighter was going into that fight with an injury. Gane tweeted, "Watch the two embeddeds that are out. His bones and joints are weak. Both episodes he is in the pool. Pool workouts are for injured and low impact. He's in recovery mode." Whether Jones had some minor injury or not is soon to be determined, but if he really did, it would make his victory even better. Leading to the bout, Jones said that he believes this fight is a mismatch. At first, many thought this was part of his trash talk mind game, but judging by the masterpiece he displayed, it makes you feel that this fight was indeed a mismatch. Although Jones has been involved in many misconducts and controversies outside the sport, fans still love him, and he's still one of the sport's biggest superstars. When he entered the arena, fans went wild, cheering his return while booing Gane, one of the nicest and most respectful fighters on the roster. Before Jones entered the octagon, the commission asked him to remove the tape from his toe. Was that due to what the undefeated and undisputed gangster Cyril Gane did to him 10 years ago? It looks like the greatest light heavyweight fighter of all time still recovers from the trauma caused by the guy with the biggest arms, the best charm that does all the harm. Prior to the fight, Jones said that he respects Gane as a kickboxer, but this is not a kickboxing match. Sure enough, he did not disappoint. By the way, if you like the video so far, don't forget to hit that like button. What really happened in the fight? In the opening seconds of the round, Gane threw a low blow to Jon's groin, but luckily for us fans, the GOAT wasn't impacted by it and returned to action fast. Jones took to the center of the octagon, and it was evident that he would approach this fight as the more aggressive fighter who would pressure Gane to close the distance and avoid being outworked by the superior kickboxer. Jones is a brilliant fighter with one of the highest IQs in the sport. He knew exactly what he was supposed to do to win that fight, and trading on the feet with Gane was not an option. Cyril had massive respect for Jones' skills. He would throw a jab and immediately retreat to avoid being taken down. Instead of focusing on his gameplay and what he could do to edge the American in that bout, Gane was more focused on what Jon was doing in an attempt to neutralize his attacks. One such example was when Jon threw a big left hook targeting Cyril's body, overextending himself in the process. In doing so, he put the guard down and created an opening for Cyril. Instead of capitalizing on this opportunity, Gane simply looked at Jon and did nothing. This indicated how cautious and respectful Gane is of Bones' skills. Jon, being Jon, attacked Cyril's legs, and as Gane threw a big left, Jon ducked under the punch and got Gane into a clinch position. With a beautiful body lock, he dragged the French down, which was the beginning of the end for the kickboxer. Although Gane initially defended well, Jon was eager to prove that there are levels to this game, and Cyril was not even close to his level. As Gane tried to escape that position, Jones controlled the legs and almost got himself to a full mouth position. He get this left leg between Gane's legs to sweep him over if the French tried to scramble. Jones then started attacking Gane's neck and had one unsuccessful guillotine attempt. During that process, Jon realized that Cyril was so focused on escaping that position that he wasn't even trying to break the grip and separate Jon's hands. The American saw that and intelligently lifted Gane's chin in the air and sneaked his left hand under his chin, adjusting himself to a better guillotine position. Once he did that, he squeezed and forced the French fighter to tap sooner than anyone could anticipate. Judging by how fast the French tapped, we can assume that Jones possesses tremendous power at heavyweight. Cyril Gane was visibly shocked, like he couldn't believe what had just happened. It turned out that Jones was right. It was a mismatch, and he made it look easy. In the post-fight octagon interview, Jones shared his thoughts on the fight, and even he was surprised at how well he performed.
I had the strong conviction that if I were to get him down to the ground, the fight would be in my area. I've been wrestling since I was 12 years old.
At the same time, he didn't waste any time and called out one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, Stipe Miocic, who was present in the audience watching his next potential opponent.
Stipe Miocic, I hope you're training, my guy. You're the greatest heavyweight of all time, and that's what I want. I want you real bad.
Spectacularly winning the belt and calling out the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time leads to the question, what's next for Jon Jones? A clash between the greatest light heavyweight versus the greatest heavyweight UFC fighter in the world is now on the horizon, and determining who is the best MMA fighter in the world is now inevitable. Jon did not take any damage in the bout, so he won't need time to recover. This could potentially lead Jones to fight 3 times this year. He has eyes on Stipe, which will be an exciting fight. Stipe is a good wrestler with excellent takedown defense. Taking him down will not be nearly as easy as Jones did against Gane. At the same time, Stipe possesses outstanding boxing that could cause Jones some trouble. However, it's nothing that Jon hasn't dealt with before. Considering how intelligent he is as a fighter, it's unquestionable that he will find a way to neutralize Stipe's boxing and has the advantage over the Ohio native. At the same time, Stipe will turn 41 this year, and slowly but surely he's knocking on the retirement door. He might be over the hill and out of his prime when these two fight, but if Stipe can't beat Jones down, then the question is, who can? Sergey Pavlovich has improved a lot, and he's facing Curtis Blaydes next month, arguably for the #1 contender spot. If Pavlovich wins, his power could potentially put Jones in danger because the Russian can knock everyone out. He's the only fighter who matches Jones' hands reach, and his boxing is unreal. He's knocking everybody out and is the closest one can get to Francis Ngannou's power. However, his defense doesn't match his offense, and he doesn't have the best takedown defense. That would be a massive problem for the Russian if he fights Jon, but we can't know how much he's improved his wrestling over the years. On the other hand, Curtis Blaydes is a great wrestler, but Jon could easily neutralize it with his own. He managed to defend DC's takedowns, who's an Olympic wrestler, and against Blaydes wouldn't be much different. At the same time, Curtis does not have the best stand-up in the game, and Jones would simply pick him apart with kicks and punches. Considering everything, it looks like Jon will make the heavyweight division his new home, dominate it, and cement his status as the greatest MMA fighter of all time. Why will Jon Jones dominate in heavyweight? The biggest threat for Jones in the heavyweight division was the African monster, Francis Ngannou. But now, when Francis is gone, it seems that Jones will dominate this division just like he did in light heavyweight. Jon Jones possesses everything it takes to be a dominant heavyweight champion, primarily due to his versatile fighting style. Jon Jones throws kicks, elbows, mixes strikes with punches, works from the clinch, and goes for takedowns, making him very unpredictable as a fighter. His high fighting IQ may be the biggest problem that his fellow heavyweights must deal with. Jones is a master at creating distance due to his reach advantage. He uses his reach in the best possible way, using flawless technique in the cage, and has been described as one of the most innovative and constantly evolving fighters in UFC history. The diverse kicking technique, mixing with front kicks to the head and body, roundhouse kicks to the upper body and legs, and of course, the most significant kick he has at his disposal, the oblique kick, makes Jones one of the best and most feared fighters in the octagon. Jon is also an excellent wrestler. Unlike traditional double or single leg takedowns, he prefers to execute takedowns from the clinch, especially when his opponents are distracted by his elbows, knees, and strikes. On the ground, he maintains excellent control, finds openings, and delivers punches and elbows from hell. All things considered, we might be looking at the most complete fighter the world has ever seen. And if his mind and discipline are in the right place, nobody can stop Jones from defending the UFC heavyweight belt. And what do you guys think? Do you believe Stipe could beat Jon Jones and reclaim the UFC belt? How long do you think Jon would dominate the heavyweight division? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you'd like to watch more content like this, please make sure to like and subscribe.